Oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, it is finally time. 2024 is the year of Shadow the Hedgehog. I keep saying it, you're probably tired of hearing me say it. Luckily for you, there's only 2 months left from this point, but arguably the best moment of that year is right now. Sonic X Shadow Generations, which I just refer to as Shadow Generations. I never played Sonic Generations, the first one, and I'm going to obviously do that, but I am here for Shadow. That is why I am here. I love Shadow the Hedgehog. Okay, I will not monologue, ramble on as much as I usually do here, but let's see here. I did want to do this because this isn't just your average physical release these days. I opened this and there was actual like papers inside, like inserts and whatnot. Like, that's crazy. Like, when was the last time we got inserts in anything? Like, of course, Nintendo Championships, but I got a collector's edition and it was geared towards that. This one just has it. It's awesome. All right, let's open it. Obviously, I've opened this already, but I haven't read Robotnik's journal yet. Okay, so here we are. There's the journal. We'll go through that. We'll read a little bit of it before we get started here. As you would expect, some, why would they not plug their own movie? Of course they would. Cool little poster thingy there. Big fan. And of course, Shadow is front and center, because that's why the people are here. People want Shadow the Hedgehog. To this point already, the game, aside from, of course, the pre-release digital edition on PS5, game hasn't even been out 24 hours yet. It's already sold 1 million copies. Sega, if there's one thing you could learn from this, it's don't bury your coolest character for like 18 years. Just don't. The people want Shadow. It's that simple. Just I was thinking of how I could go into that a little bit more, but no, just the people want Shadow. It is quite literally that simple. The people want Shadow the Hedgehog. They have always wanted Shadow the Hedgehog. For some reason, you were reluctant to give him to us. Well, here we are. Anyway, let me cover that up so no one steals it on me. Of course, Sonic Adventure Legacy skin. You better believe there's a pretty good chance I am gonna do all of Shadow gens, or yeah, Sonic gens, excuse me, in this skin right here. So, got a little cool sheet for that. Oh, uh-oh, Sess is here, Sess is here! Sess is here! Top of the morning, Sess. Alright. Looks like I may or may not owe you a pizza time if those don't go through, because I did just test all of those. There they go, there they go. Little delayed. I was toying with stuff on my days off, so... Okay. Anyway, as we wait for the rest of Sessus to come through here, let us indulge, shall we? Property of the Eggman Empire. Isn't that pretty sick? Property of the Eggman Empire. It's interesting. Maybe those aren't going to come through. Death, taxes, and my sound alerts not functioning on my most important streams. Happens every time. Even though I tested them beforehand, they worked. Anyway, let us look at Gerald Robotnik's journal. This was a little smaller than I expected, which makes sense. Maybe it's different based on... Actually, no, it's probably the same for all of them. There's a lot to read here, so I'm not going to go through all of it right now, especially since I can't really show it on camera. We're definitely going to go through the beginning here. From Archival and Requisitions Department to Commander Abraham Tower, the homie Abraham Tower. Holy shit. Commander, your request for tangible evidence of the Ark incident 50 years ago produced very little results. Your predecessor was quite thorough in erasing the cover-up operation. However, Professor Gerald So it looks like Abraham Tower, being the homie that he is now, was trying to expose the cover-up, maybe, which is really cool. Anyway, however, Professor Gerald Robotnik's personal diary managed to survive. Ironically, we have Dr. Eggman to thank for finding it at all. This journal was recovered during the investigation of Dr. Eggman's stronghold following the latest incident within the Ark. Unfortunately, time and tragedy have not been kind to the journal. What you're holding now is all that remains of the original book. I'm afraid there is no way of recovering the missing pages, nor can I restore the damage or redacted elements. It's a pity, as I would have very much liked to have a greater insight into Gerald and Maria's lives, too. I take great pride in my research and discoveries. Few men are labeled as a genius in their own time, but nothing compares to my pride in my boys. The names are crossed out. Interesting. They both graduated in record time, no less. Doctorates. I would assume one of those is Eggman. I guess. At least descendants. That's... What else we got here? This is a lot to read. Like I said, I'm not going to go through all of it now. There's the runes, I believe, from Sonic Adventure 1. There's Angel Island, which we knew he got some inspiration from there in terms of, you know, shadow and whatnot. I'm not as surprising as it sounds. I'm not an expert on that exact lore there. The all-powerful soul binding, I don't know what that says. Chaos Emerald in a little picture there. Oh, that's Maria, isn't it? That's Maria. All right, let's get into this a little. It has been a trying time, to say the least. It's crossed out, but we know it's Maria. Maria was diagnosed with neuroimmunodeficiency syndrome. There is no cure. Yet. I pulled some strings and had her brought aboard the Ark for treatment and assessment. The low-gravity environment should help her symptoms keep her symptoms manageable. This is straight up handwritten. I'm not joking. Like, it can be hard to read. Her family has been less than enthusiastic with my decision. Despite everything, she remains the most positive person in the room. Yes, she does that. That's Maria to a T. Most of the staff have left their families back on Earth, so I worried she'd feel lonely. Instead, she's become the adoptive daughter of every researcher on the Ark. Okay. Here's going to work. I'm going to read this all in full on my own time, for sure. Years ago, I discovered something of an ancient god of destruction called Chaos. That right there is Sonic Adventure 1, of course. Oh, this is actually good to read. I promised the president I'd begin work on Project Shadow, but even he can't get them back to something. It appears I have a gun to my head on the matter. Ho ho. Gun is the agency, pun intended. Years ago, I discovered rewards of an ancient god of destruction called Chaos. Oh, we did that. I read that already. Okay, research into Project Shadow is in full swing. That's entry 530. Now, then on the next page here, we got entry 568. Project Shadow has reached an impasse. The subject exhibits accelerated cellular growth to the point it cannot support its own biological systems. I've developed an external life support systems to compensate, but it will need to be upgraded and redesigned. This is not Shadow we're talking about. I believe this is the Biolizard we are referring to. Makes my heart that someone as bright and energetic as her is diminishing by disease. Project Shadow will cure her, her family back on Earth. No such faith. The Black Comet returned to Earth. Its 50-year orbit. On its 50-year orbit. Like, this can be hard to read. I had no idea it actually harbored... You know, that's crossed out. Aboard it was, again, crossed out. I must save her no matter the costs. This is so well done. Like, the way they did this, it's like very, like, there's certain things that are like raggedy and looks like someone spilled coffee on a couple pages and stuff. Fingerprints, like, they make it feel like an actual handwritten journal that, like, is 50 years old. Okay, here we reached a point where he's starting to get desperate. Here would appear to be... I would assume this is a goofy drawing of Shadow that she drew here. That's pretty cool. Project Shadow is complete and Blank has awakened. We're now talking about Shadow himself. Pre-programmed a great deal of data into his mind, but his ability to... I don't know what that word says. All of his vitals are strong, and there seems to be no signs of instability or mutilation. So there's a picture of him and Maria looking at the stars. There's the two of them in what appears to be school, sitting next to each other. They're really driving home the idea that they are siblings, which is absolutely adorable and awesome. Which makes sense. I mean, think about it. My worst fears have come true. The Gizoid has something weaponry. Can't read that. This is hard. That's why I have to read it on my own time. It would take forever. Now we are reaching the point where we can see some things being scribbled out and whatnot a little more frequently, and pages getting burned and tattered more often. And here on this page, we just see an absolute mess of nonsense. It is an absolute mess. But then the military guards land, as expected. Yep, as the military guards landed on the comet. Yep, there's just a bunch of numbers and whatnot in order here, in random orders. Big thing on the bottom that says, bring hope to humanity. Let's see. Let me see if I can try to decipher any of this here. Then on the end here, and here we are. This is post military invasion, of course, and we've more or less heard this before. I found Blank, Maria's name among those who died when the Ark was shut down. She meant everything to me, and I couldn't bear the thought that she died because of my research. I lost everything. I had nothing more to live for. I went insane. All I would think about was to avenge her. Somehow, some way. I got scared that I was no longer able to control my thoughts. All I could think about was that I wanted it all to end. Based on my original projections, I was able to complete my project. I would assume that says Shadow, it's crossed out again. I designed its mind to be perfect, pure. I will leave everything to him. If you wish, release and awaken it to the world. If you wish to fill the world with destruction. And then it's just a picture of the happy family right off to the side there. And that is our journal. We will, obviously I'm just going to read that on my own time. I'd be here for an hour trying to do all that. There's a lot of content in there. That is an absolutely insane, wonderful, wonderful pre-order bonus to include. That is just straight up awesome. Okay. With that, 2024 is the year of Shadow the Hedgehog. Let's get started.